This is a move I can actually get behind. The Baltimore Ravens have made some important additions this offseason, but if they decide to make one more move before training camp, bringing back Jadeveon Clowney would make a lot of sense. We already know he fits within the organization and he can produce in Baltimore, and with the Super Bowl caliber roster we are trying to create this season, adding another experienced pass rusher is never a bad idea as long as the price is right. And before we want to get into today's video, I do want to mention that today is actually my birthday. So if you've been enjoying the Ravens content here on the channel daily and have not subscribed yet, hitting that subscribe button would be the best birthday gift that I could receive today in its entirety. Now, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, as we've talked about before. It is completely free, and we are providing daily Ravens videos and updates. You guys are not going to want to miss out on the content we are providing on a daily basis. Now, specifically talking about Jadeveon Clowney and why this conversation is happening and why his name keeps being brought up. Now, as we know, the Ravens have just signed one of their most important additions of adding a center, but with training camp right around the corner, there is still time for EDC to make another move, and one position that keeps coming up is edge rusher. Now, Jadeveon Clowney is still a free agent, and because of this, it wouldn't be a surprising factor to see his name linked with Baltimore, as he already knows the organization and he knows what it means to play Ravens football. Now, this signing wouldn't be about making a splash, as we know. We know that a familiar face in Baltimore could already make the talented defense that we are expecting this season way better and way more efficient than the last season. But one of the biggest reasons I really like the idea is because there's not much of a learning curve for Jadeveon Clowney. In 2023, he spent his season as a Baltimore Raven, and it was one of his best seasons of his entire career. He finished the year with 9.5 sacks, and he consistently pressured opposing quarterbacks. He played a very physical brand of football, and he was a major contributor on the Ravens that season, and we had a very great defensive season. But beyond the numbers, as we know, he really fits the Ravens culture. He fits the locker room, and his teammates respect him, and the coaching staff trusts within him. Sometimes when you sign a veteran, you don't know how they'll fit, but this is not the case in this situation. As we already know, Jadeveon Clowney brings a lot to the table, and this is something that NFL teams are very interested in going into this free agency and during training camp. But before this, the question that people might ask is, can Jadeveon Clowney still play if he's available, and why is he still available in free agency? Now, the answer is pretty simple. Teams are very interested in Jadeveon Clowney and his value, as he's a veteran who has played a lot of football and he understands how offenses are trying to attack defenses. He's also known as one of the better run-defending edge rushers in the entire NFL and sets the edge at one of the highest degrees that we have seen. He is also someone who has played in big games and playoff games and has one Super Bowl appearance, and nobody is expecting Jadeveon Clowney to be the same player that he was coming out of South Carolina. Now, we are looking for a dependable veteran in the Baltimore Ravens defensive line room and somebody who can stop the run. That is one of the major concerns for the Baltimore Ravens, and this is why teams have continued interest in him. And this is why Baltimore could at least consider making a call for Jadeveon Clowney. Now, when we talk about the Baltimore Ravens D-line, if there's one thing we've learned over the past couple of years, it is never enough pass rushers. You can never have enough pass rushers. Injuries happen, players can wear down over the course of a long season, and rotating edge rushers keeps everyone fresh and everyone healthy. This is especially important when you reach January and December in these big playoff push type of games that the Baltimore Ravens seemingly seem that they're playing in every single year. Adding Jadeveon Clowney isn't just about replacing anybody in the defensive line room. It adds depth to our championship run, and if Baltimore wants to make another Super Bowl run, having another experienced pass rusher such as Jadeveon Clowney would not be a bad buy for the Baltimore Ravens and somebody that they could actually benefit from. Now, as we've talked about, how does Clowney change the defense? And the biggest reason this move really makes sense is because of Anthony Weaver, the newest defensive coordinator for the Ravens. It is because of what he could really bring to a Anthony Weaver defense. Not only has his impact been about sacks number, obviously, as we know, sacks matter, but great defensive players can play in a multiple effect and in many different ways. And he can force the quarterback to speed up their decisions. He can collapse the pocket in multiple ways. And for a defense like Baltimore's, he has a lot of value that could be shown in terms of showing pressure and being a ball hawk when it comes to being able to push offensive linemen towards getting to the quarterback. And especially when we have younger pieces around him, as we know on the defensive line, such as the Matabikes, he does not have to just be focused on and the pure focused on defenses. They will have to account for multiple threats per game, even in the secondary when it comes to players such as Kyle Hamilton. Adding Jadeveon Clowney is a player that Anthony Weaver can really benefit from, and he creates matchup problems across the field in numerous amount of ways. Another reason I really like this move is because you cannot just develop Jadeveon Clowney, as he already has NFL experience, and we have seen his NFL experience throughout the course of his entire NFL career. As we've talked about, he's played in playoff games, he knows what it means and how to prepare for a full NFL season, and he has played in 17-game seasons before. And having someone like Clowney around just gives you a true example on how to prepare and how to compete. And veteran players make their biggest impacts during the week. The way that they study for the game, the way that they communicate with the teammates, and the way that they help build a winning culture within the organization is something that the Ravens value and something that EDC will take very, very, very seriously. Now, the Ravens have always valued defensive veterans, as we know, and this move has the ability to do something for Baltimore that has not been done in a huge amount of years. The Baltimore Ravens love the idea of adding valuable veterans every single year, and they've brought in players who know how to play winning football. Players who know how to handle pressure, players who know what football means and what it feels like to play in big games. As we know, Jadeveon Clowney is a player who really fits this mode, and he understands the expectations that comes with being a Baltimore Raven. For this team going into the 2026-2027 season, we are trying to win a championship. The Baltimore Ravens championship expectations are at the biggest, and they matter to the highest degree. Jadeveon Clowney could be a piece that adds to the veteran defensive line room and a player that could benefit from going to a team such as Baltimore and allow him, with his playoff experience, to have the trajectory of being able to help Baltimore bring a Super Bowl to the Baltimore Ravens. Purely based on the season he had last year in Dallas, it was a very successful season at a very veteran age, and if we bring him alongside new pieces that have been developing, he should be a move that I can definitely get behind and see the Baltimore Ravens pulling off. Now, after looking at everything, where do I stand on Jadeveon Clowney returning to Baltimore? I think that the Ravens should seriously consider this move, not because of what of a desperate move it looks like, but the defense is missing something major in terms of a veteran perspective. Good teams are always looking for ways to get better, and Clowney gives us something that is very valuable. Experience, versatility, and he is someone that has already shown he can succeed in a Baltimore Ravens uniform. We are not looking for a 5-year build. We are looking to compete right now, and they are trying to win a championship with the current roster going into this new year, and adding Jadeveon Clowney could give the defense another piece to help them get there, and that is why I believe this is a move that I can get behind. At the end of the day, Jadeveon Clowney isn't the same player that he was entering the NFL coming out of South Carolina, as we know, but that doesn't mean he can't still be a valuable piece for the Baltimore Ravens. We do not need him to be a superstar. We don't need him to carry the defense as a whole. We just need Jadeveon Clowney to be Jadeveon Clowney, a physical edge rusher, a veteran leader, and somebody who can make plays when his number is called on a play-to-play basis. If the price is right, I can definitely see us getting behind this move, and I believe that Jadeveon Clowney is a move that the Baltimore Ravens should consider. Now, I want to hear from you guys, Ravens flock. Would you bring Jadeveon Clowney back for another season? Would you rather trust the younger edge rushers that are already on the roster? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And again, thank you guys so much for all the birthday wishes and all the support on the daily Ravens content. It means a lot. And if you've enjoyed this video, make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe to Ravens Digest for more Ravens news, rumors, and analysis, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss a Ravens Digest upload. Thanks for watching, and Ravens flock, as always, we'll see you in the next time. Until then.